Grand Rising, two scoops. MC Loving, how are you? How are you, MC Loving? Lisa, how are you? How are you doing today? Knock survivor. You're very welcome, Light Within. So, Knock survivor was, what is the best word to use? Mentor. But some of the videos I used to watch at the time, back in those days, you know, when you've been traumatized. So when you're just coming out of trauma, you have that, it's like, that feeling is very difficult to explain. It's like you feel like you've been fighting a battle. So those days I was still struggling to understand what exactly was going on. I'm talking about Knock survivor. So I was starting to understand what has happened. I had awakened at the time. So I used to watch Knock survivor. He's a very good gentleman, that man. I used to watch his videos many times. Now these days I no longer consume this narcissistic content and everything. Every now and then, you know, I may do a video. Sometimes I may watch some channels depending, but I don't normally consume a lot of narcissistic content. You see, you know, because I've gone past that stage of healing. So it used to be those moments where I was healing, and Knock survivor was one of Knock survivor, Ramani. Which other channels? There were some other channels that I used to watch. Queen Holiday. How many of you guys know Queen Holiday? Guys, let us do some charging. I think we need to charge. Guys, give me a second. I get the charger. Stay online, stay online. So, how many of you guys know Queen Holiday? Queen Holiday. Queen Holiday. What's the name of his channel? Queen Holiday. There's a guy called Queen Holiday. There's a gentleman called Queen Holiday. So those are the Queen Holiday. It is these videos that woke me up, you know. So when I received my awakening, so guys, we are not discussing religion, okay? Bible followers, much respect, but we are talking about something about narcissism and everything, okay? Anything in those areas. Eugene, hey Eugene, it's been a long time, you know? Eugene, how have you been? I came to see your channel. Every now and then I see the channel is going well. Thank you for putting in that work. Thank you for putting in that work. Thank you for the content. I see your channel every now and then. When I was waking up, I used to watch Queen Holiday. Queen Holiday, I remember. Hello from Thailand. Hello. Which part, Thailand? Pattaya? Which area of Thailand do you come from? We have a follower from Thailand. So much work to do. I get it, man. I get it. So we're talking about spiritual awakening. We're talking about narcissism. Guys, don't... If you want to talk about Jesus, something religion, then it's going to be a different video, okay? So Queen Holiday was my mentor at the time. I remember one day I was lying down there. I was chilling. At the time I was very stressed. So I was thinking, what am I going to do? This thing is messy. Everything went out of hand. Guys, I don't understand. For some reason, towards the end of those relationships, especially for the most of you guys who have gone through the devaluation, you are very familiar with this scenario. Everything is messed up. You don't know what you need to do. You're thinking, maybe let me try to be nice. Maybe let me try to do this. Maybe let me try to do that. Maybe if I do this, my partner will be happy. I'm going to make them happy. Maybe when I try to talk like this, maybe there's nothing you can do. So before my awakening, by the way, this thing is based on my experience. It was a real situation that happened. So I'm sharing with you the journey. And so me in the days, those years I used to think, that was like 6 years ago. So I used to think it was me at the time. I used to think it was me. Maybe it is me. Am I the one who is not getting these things properly? Am I the one who is there anything I can do? Maybe let me try to be nice. Let me try to do this. Let me try to do that. Nothing. Nothing completely was working. I didn't know what else to do. So me, I'm there now, I'm searching on internet. I was researching about relationships. So me, I was thinking that this was a normal relationship. You know, that's the thing that many of you empaths, you struggle with. You don't understand the difference between toxic and normal relationships. So me, I thought that, okay, so this was a relationship and things was just not okay. So maybe I was just trying to find which ways can I do, you know, and what can I change? Which way can I go? I didn't know what to do. So I used to Google relationship coaches. And there was a lot of coaches, they were saying, oh, when your partner does like this, you can do like this. If you want to change the situation, you do like that. So me, I was watching so many, there was a couple of them at the time. I hadn't yet tapped into that frequency of narcissism. You know, it's what I've told you guys that narcissism is a frequency. So, and then, So many coaches was giving me advice at the time. Do this. The partner does this, do that. Try this and try that. Try this. I tried everything. I had tried everything. Ladies and gentlemen, narcissism is a frequency. Narcissism is a frequency. I had not yet tapped into that frequency. So I was looking for questions. And everything that the coaches talked about, I had done it. Everything that they advised to do, I had done everything. I had tried different tricks, different ways, different behavior. I tried everything, nothing was working. I didn't know what to do else. So one day, I remember, so I was lying down there, I was thinking, so, okay. Now, I don't know these guys. Guys, we are not talking about religion, okay? We are discussing narcissism, spiritual awakening. It is not religious. So if you want to talk about the blood of Jesus, it's going to be a different video, okay? Let us talk about the things so now, how does the narcissist bring about an awakening? That is going to be, we're going to discuss that thing, but you're going to understand it in a different way. And for the most of you guys who have been in narcissistic abuse, you understand. So whichever experience you've had, tourmaline is nice. So guys, remember to keep it nice, respectful, keep it clean, don't use abusive language, okay? Let's spread the love. Naoki Tarot, I've told you. You're with Jesus and everything. We're not talking about Jesus today. It is not religion. If you want to listen about narcissism, you're welcome. But if you want Jesus, blood of Jesus, scriptures, it's a different thing altogether. So, I remember so what happened, I had done everything. I had listened to all the coaches I thought I knew. Do this, try this. When they do this, try that. I had done everything. I didn't know what else to do. So now I'm there. I was sitting down. I was home alone at the time, watching TV. I have my headphones on, and then when YouTube is on autoplay, when the videos are just in autoplay, this one finish, another one gets on, this one finish, another one starts. So the videos was on autoplay, and I put my headphones on. So I was laying down on the sofa, listening, and then eventually I fell asleep. I drifted to sleep. So when I was sleeping, I remember I didn't fully sleep, like deep sleep. It was like that thing where you're like midway. You're asleep and you're not asleep. You're in the middle. Then I heard something, narcissism. I said, what? I said, narcissism? So what about narcissism? What's going on? That's when I woke up. I woke up and I sat down. So that was Queen Holiday. So Queen Holiday was talking about narcissism. So Eugene says many counselors need counseling. They often send you back home, or more target practice from narcissists. Yeah, you see, many of them, they want you to go in cycles. Or we have another session, therapy. So you're going to be going therapy 2 times a week, every week. You know, sometimes people go for years and you're still coming back to the same thing. Okay, it's a good thing to go, but I mean, when you see that it's not helping you, I think you need to check out of the therapies. When you see that nothing is changing, you're just going in circles, you know. There's times when I have sessions, I don't even need people to be booking sessions every week because you don't need it. I give you the info, I give you the medicine straight away, and you break, because this thing is a code. So I help you to break the code and you start your healing journey. So you don't need to be, like therapists, you're going every week for therapy and that kind of stuff. I just do it once, even twice, maybe thrice, and you're okay. You're good to go. So I'm there listening. I put my headphones on, and I'm listening. Then somebody says narcissism. Something narcissist, something narcissist. I heard the first word, second word, third word. So the man kept on saying, the narcissist this, the narcissist that, the narcissist this. So that's when it started ringing a bell. I was like, why is this man talking about narcissism? I'm there lying down on the sofa. I put my headphones on. So that's when I said, okay, let me listen more. So I stood up. And I looked on the phone. And there was that, I've forgotten the name of that channel. His name is Queen Holiday, but I forgot his name. The name of the channel. Ask Direct. ASSC Direct. Ask Direct. That was the name of the channel at the time. The owner of that channel is Queen Holiday. By the way, Queen Holiday is no longer making narcissistic videos. Okay, so recently he did a video. I don't know if he has done any recently, but the last I watched, he said he's going to venture into something different. I don't know what he decided to do, but he said that he's not going to be producing narcissistic content. So I'm there listening. I say, narcissism. I started listening about this narcissism. I said, what is this narcissism? So then I saw the subject. So the title of the video at the time, it was Narcissists and Triangulation. That was the exact title of that video. So I said, okay, triangulation, it had already been familiar. I'd been seeing the patterns here and there. So I said, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Let me listen more. That video, I think, was around 15 minutes. We're talking about more than 6 years ago. So you guys who are sharing, a lot of you guys who are here and you're helping people with narcissism, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on sharing. You're helping people. You're helping people, because if I didn't find Queen Holiday at the time, maybe there could have been somebody different one, but it was a narcissistic coach that helped me at the time. That is when I started breaking these codes, Is what I've told you guys, that truth is a code. In the Bible, they say the truth sets you free. So the moment you get in contact with that truth, you are free. That's what broke me free. I didn't know what I was dealing with, So then I was like, this man knows what he's talking about. This is exactly what has been happening. This was the experience. I started, so now you know that thing when it comes, so the videos start popping up. Narcissism this and narcissism that, then you see another video, then you see another video, then a different coach, then a different coach. That's when I entered that paradigm. Is when I actually stepped into that timeline. I said, now I understand. These people, they're talking about this narcissist. So I said, okay, maybe Queen Holiday is not making a lot of sense. Let me try another one. I checked another coach, the same thing. Different channel, same thing. Different channel, the same thing. It was the same pattern. I say, okay, now I get the pattern. So that moment, I remember I went into a very deep trance. It was like whereby you kind of like, it's like you shut down, your system shuts down a little bit. The awakening is very difficult to explain for people who haven't experienced it. My entire system shut down at the time. I was like, wow. So these whole years I've been gaslighting myself. I've been thinking that I was the narcissist, I was the problem. It was not me at the time. So then I woke up, So that video that I did at the time, it was called The Switch. I think many of you guys have watched that video. It's called The Switch. So when you go in the list and you type the switch, you will see that video when I was explaining my awakening. So I went into a trance. It is like the entire system shut down. I couldn't even understand what was going on. You know, it's like I was disconnected for a little bit. So my awakening started at the time. And that thing spent about, I think that thing took about 20 seconds. You know, when you're like kind of lost, your mind just shuts down, everything just shuts down. You're like in shock. I was in shock at the time. Then I came back to my senses. You know, I started breathing. I say, hello, okay, this is me. Tembeka, I see you, Gumede. I say, okay, now I get it. I started breathing again. I say, now I get it. Slowly, I started getting back to my senses. And then that's when I started the videos. I remember I was sitting down like for 2 hours. I was watching narcissist videos. Narcissist. So me, I was thinking at the time that where was all these videos at the time when I was searching for information? Where was that time? The videos were there. The videos was actually there. They've always been there, but I was not tapped into that frequency. I was not yet on that timeline that could understand narcissism. So that day, the universe was like, okay, it's your time. Denzo, this is your time, you know? I hopped onto the timeline. So that is the day I decided to leave. That is the exact day when I made the decision. I said, okay, now that I know what it is time for me to start preparing myself. So I started preparing myself mentally. So the preparation, by the way, Mochesmo Eugene is doing exit videos. So Mochesmo's channel is called Mochesmo Eugene. So go to his channel in the comments. So you will see he's talking about exit strategies. A lot of times you guys who are trying to leave and everything, you get information on narcissism. So go follow him, give him a follow. He's been with us from the beginning. Mochesmo actually was one of the people when I started. Mochesmo was one of my first followers in the beginning. So Mochesmo knows when we was at around 1,000 subscribers at the time. Mochesmo was with us. He's been with us all along. He has his own channel, so if you want to go there and learn something, make sure you go and subscribe on his channel. You cannot miss him in the comments, Mochesmo Eugene. So the awakening started. Now, for a very long time, I've told you guys that narcissism is a frequency. It is a frequency. And the very moment you get into contact with the truth of what narcissism is, that is what breaks the code, okay? Is what breaks that frequency, is how you break out of that frequency by awareness. So when you go around looking for relationship coach, this dating coach is okay. They have their own content. They talk about breakups and relationships, Grand Rising, Little Jam. It's been a while. You guys see what I mean? So at the time, even if you want to watch those videos, yes, it's good. You can get information. Maybe you're dealing with a very stubborn partner and you're dealing with different stuff. It's okay. Watch some stuff. But as long as you're dealing with narcissism, you need a person who has already embodied the frequency of truth and understood what it is on a very deep level. That is when you're going to start breaking the codes, you know? Because breaking that narcissism frequency, you can go over and over with different people telling you different things, and you are still going to be inside. You're going to be in the loop. It's like it's like you're in a loop. So somebody will tell you about a relationship. Somebody will tell you, oh, you are going through a separation. You need to go to counseling. You need to do this. It doesn't work with narcissism. You need a person that is going to tell you what narcissism is, what is going on, because they embody that frequency of truth. And that truth is what breaks that code. Is what breaks you free. Is why I called my channel, you guys who have been with me for a very long time, you know, the channel used to be called Denzomo's Breaking Empaths Free. Because when I found out what narcissism was, and I embodied that truth, That is how I embodied the frequency. First of all, by understanding what the truth was and embodying that frequency of truth. Now I was able to say that, okay, now that I understand what narcissism is, I can also help other people to do the same. You see, so that's when the channel was born. The name, first of all, I said it was Denzo Moore's Unscripted many years ago. But then I realized that there was a different channel that was something unscripted. So I said, okay, I don't want to look at people. It shouldn't look like it's all the same names and everything. So that's when I decided to say, okay, now we are going to call the channel Denzo Moore's Breaking Empaths Free. So that was the initial name at the time when I was starting. You see? So my journey started at the time. That's when I started helping people. I started healing. I was learning things. I was, And you see, one of the best teachers I've realized, one of the best teachers you can ever meet, they are the ones who have lived that experience. They have lived the experience. They have been there. They have gone through the abuse and everything. They understand it on a very deep level. Okay? So those are the real teachers that will help you. But the ones who are just reading some books, and if you find a coach, they just read some books. Oh, because the book so and so says this, so the narcissist is this. The book says this. No. The ones who have already been there, they have been battling this abuse. Those people, they know what's happening. They know. They understand that frequency of narcissism properly because they have already lived it. They have lived that experience already. So they know what it is. So they're the ones who can actually help you. The ones that have healed, because you need to start healing. For you to be able to heal other people, you have to heal. You cannot heal other people when you're wounded. It's the reason as to why you see a lot of people who have gone through narcissistic abuse. They start the healing journey, then they share videos, they're helping people, then they break away from the channel first because they haven't yet done the work. So they get away from the channel because they also realize that they need to do some more healing on themselves. But the ones who have done like the healing work and been going through the healing and everything, you are now able to help other people because you're coming from a more genuine, authentic frequency. You're not hurting. You're not like coming out and cursing. Like there used to be other channels I used to see this person would come out and they would curse, this, and they would use all these words that I cannot even bring out of my mouth. And there was coaches and they had even followers, but at the end of the day, you realize that you also have to do the healing first because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So you do the healing so other people can drink from your cup. But when you're also wounded, people cannot drink from a wounded cup. You see what I mean? It's how this whole thing works. It's energy. You're putting out the energy because you've done the work. So the ones who haven't done the work, yes, you can do whatever you can do to help, but you're not pouring you're pouring from an empty cup. And it doesn't really pretty much help a lot of people. So the quickest way to enlightenment, if you want to find the keys to enlightenment, that's the question I got here. So it is not about being around. I'll change the title at the end. It's not being around a narcissist. You have to engage. You have to be with them. Just not be around, you go visit them and go home. No, it's not like that. You have to be with them. Whether it is a friendship, close friendship, whether it is dating, a relationship. So you have to be around them for a while. So you need to actually experience this thing on a regular basis. It is not like something, a person that you go. It's like, for example, many of you guys have that narcissist that maybe let's say, for example, you go there once a week, maybe once a month. Okay? No, you cannot awaken like that. Just because you want to visit a narcissist for one time in a month, you're going to go there and they're going to show you their best self. They're going to shower you with the love and everything. And you will not see it. You have to be inside it. You have to go through it. You have to experience it. The gaslighting, okay? You have to speak that language. The gaslighting, the abuse, the manipulation, this cheating and what, all those things. You have to go through the experience, not just being there. Go through it. In my opinion, I believe the awakening that is going on now on the planet, 80% of the awakenings that are happening they are also involved with narcissistic abuse. 80% of the spiritual awakenings that is happening now as we're speaking, a lot of the people that are awakening now, they have gone through some form of narcissistic abuse. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? So when you're with a narcissist, you will see a very unusual personality, something that is not very common, is not very familiar to you. You will be with a person and you'll be thinking. So you'll hear them say something. There are sometimes when I was with a narcissist and I would sit down and I would think, so is it possible for somebody to say something like that? Because there are things that you never heard before. There is things you've never seen. There is words you never heard. You know? I'm live. Nkada. Wingsley, I see you. Denise, greetings. So you hear them telling you things you've never heard before. So sometimes you think there's a time when a narcissist can tell you to go kill yourself. Have you guys ever been with a narcissist? And something happened and the narcissist told you, go kill yourself. So when they are talking about some deaths, they are like talking about something that is a business as usual. Oh, you know, I had an ex girlfriend, they killed themselves. I had an ex-boyfriend, they committed suicide. That's what they talk about their exes. But the only thing they will never tell you is that they was involved. They will never tell you that they was involved because that is their secret. They will hide it. They cannot tell you that they was involved with the person, but they will tell you that the person killed themselves. Oh, you know, I had the ex, they was crazy. Sometimes you can meet a narcissist. Of course, in the beginning, you don't know because you think that, oh, this is another regular human being, normal person. And then they're going to tell you, oh, you know, they have an ex, they're in the psychiatric wards. Did you guys know that even some people in those psychiatric wards, many of them are victims of narcissistic abuse? Is what they don't tell you in the news. Those people that you see them, Kreuz and Kerhan, Germany, greetings. They don't tell you that those people are what do they call them? Victims of narcissistic abuse. You know? They will not tell you this. They tell, oh, those ones, they are crazy. They are something, mental health or something. They call it mental health. But when you look very closely inside those people in those words, you will actually, if you are the person who understands narcissistic abuse, you are going to see those people, they are victims of abuse. Sebastian, they are victims of abuse. They are there because they have been broken mentally. So they are there healing. While the narcissist is on the street looking for the next supply. So it's why you guys have always told you, this whole matrix is inverted. Everything is upside down. So you see people that have been dealing with abuse, narcissism, they're in the psychiatric wards. Some of them, they are locked up in prisons for different reasons, whatever. The narcissist, they're on the street looking for the next victim. So you guys see how this thing is messed up. Everything is messed up, you know? The narcissist is on the street looking for the next one. They have already discarded you, so they are, you know, they are looking, they're with the next victim. They are victims. They are with the next new supply. The victims of abuse, they have broken down for so many years. Many of them, they are in psychiatric hospitals. Some of them have committed suicide. Some of them are in, homeless. Some of them are in different areas, and nobody will tell you this. This is one of the things that they will never tell you. They will never tell you the truth. Is why you see out of this, a lot of times the algorithm is fighting with these truth channels because we tell you exactly how it is. We understand how inverted the whole thing is. So we turn it back into the right order to tell you what is exactly happening. you know. Akeras, I see you. Yemima, I think you're also on our TikTok the other time. I think I saw you last time. So are you guys following? Nobody is, it almost feels like the narcissists are untouchable, you know? It feels like the narcissists are untouchable. They can do all their mess and mess up, and they can just go and get the next victim and continue and recycle. And you, the victims, you are the ones who are left in psychiatric wards. Everybody's calling you crazy. Oh, that one is mentally insane and what? And they don't understand that you was involved with the psychopath. Because they don't put those things on the reports. They don't mention those things, you know, in the media, in the reports. You don't see those. The only thing they say, mental health. That one must be schizophrenic. They have those names, that the labels that they put on people, you know? Give them labels that don't even belong to them. Is what you see. We do tell you, you know, what is exactly going on, because it is only somebody that has lifted the veil that embodies that frequency of truth. A person who embodies the truth is the one that has lifted the veil. So they are the ones who are able to see behind the curtains. And now they embody that frequency of truth. Now they can help you to break free. They can help you to teach you different things that you can learn. You know? I've gone through narcissistic abuse most part of my life. I've experienced narcissism in many, many different settings. So they have been their family, many of my friends, not all friends. I've got some good people that I used to know, some good friends I used to know. Nice people. So relationships, at work. Yeah, I've seen narcissists in church. There's some narcissists that I've been seeing in church, you know. The human brain cannot handle narcissistic abuse. There is nobody with a normal brain. The normal brain is not designed to contain this, you know. So they've been coming in and around, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, you know. But before I couldn't know. So many years ago, I didn't know. I used to think that, maybe some people is just toxic, maybe, you know, when you're in school, sometimes they tell you, oh, this one has bad behavior, that one has got this, and that one has got that. Nobody will mention about anything, narcissism. Nobody will tell you. Grand rising, God son. Nobody will tell you. They will tell you, oh, they have, you know, bad behavior, something this, something that. It is not only Egypt. Yeah, Nkada, not only Egypt. This thing is global. It's a global epidemic. It's a global epidemic from country to country. It doesn't care which island you live. It doesn't matter what color of the skin. It doesn't matter what is your faith. It's why sometimes I've always told you guys here, when we start talking about narcissism, we don't want to start those things of blood of Jesus, and it is not about religion. It is not about religion, because this whole thing of narcissism affects everybody on this universe, regardless of what is your faith, skin color, where country you come from. They're everywhere, they're all over the place. It has nothing to do with religion, you know. You can handle it in your own faith. If you're Muslim, maybe you have a narcissistic parent. You can handle it in your own faith and understand it in your own faith. You have your Qurans, you read these Qurans and what? You go to the mosque. When you're a religious person in the direction of whatever Catholic faith or whatever faith, you can handle it in your own faith. But narcissism has nothing to do with religion. It is not connected to religion, okay? Is why a lot of my videos, I normally don't go again and again with this whole religion, because it has nothing to do with the religion. Narcissism has nothing to do with the religion. Being chosen has nothing to do with the religion. You can be a chosen one who is living in Kuwait. You can be a chosen one from China. You could be a chosen one from Japan. It doesn't matter what religion or country you're coming from. So, a narcissist, there is something they do to your brain. They are spiritual parasites, I've told you. So there is something they do to your brain, you know? And it is something that only the victims of narcissism have experienced. There is something they do to your brain. They clog up your brain. They show you a completely inverted reality. You guys have been with the narcissist and you know, when you say 1, for them they see 2. If you say 2, for them they see a 1. If it's north, for them they see south. They're inverted. The narcissist is living upside down, you know? That is the same reason why a lot of the time you have been struggling to make a decision when you're with the narcissist. Let us try to go like this. Let us try to do this one. You have been trying to participate, friendship or relationship or whatever, family. You have been trying to participate. And sometimes you was telling them, hey, you know what? We can actually do things this way. You could show them your version of reality, what you think, because you're not living upside down. You're living the way you should live as a soul. Because I've told you these people, they are soulless. They don't have a soul. You do the normal things. You see the right way. Yes, I understand you're not perfect. I've many times told you. It has nothing to do with perfection. But you know that this is what can be done. That is what can be done. The narcissist does not understand it that way. What should be done, they're going to do what shouldn't be done. And what shouldn't be done, they will do what should be done. So they live in an inverted, is why you hear people talking about inverted reality. You know, they're upside down. You know what I mean? So you make a decision and you tell them, okay, let us try to look at the situation this way. And they're going to fight with you. They will argue, oh, you don't listen to me. You know, I'm your father. Yeah, you know, you don't listen to your wife. I'm telling you this, and you're talking about the other one, because they understand reality in a different way. They have an inverted reality, so they understand life upside down. You know? And everybody around them is supposed to think like them. They want you to think like them, is what I say. They will twist everything, and your brain will go into override. So your brain no longer understands what is real and what is not real. Your brain no longer can recognize what is true and what isn't. Because whenever you come around the truth, come close to the truth, they're going to gaslight you. Oh, no, you're making things up. You know, it's like, for example, let's say you leave something on the table. Maybe you left the cup on the table. The narcissist is going to remove that cup and hide it from you. Do you see how those guys, they destroy your brain? They're going to remove the cup and they're going to hide it. It can be anything. I'm just giving you an example of the cup. You will come back and you will know for sure, when I was leaving this room, I left that cup on the table. Or maybe they can move that cup to a different location. So you come back to get the cup from that place, and they're going to tell you, oh, why did you put the cup over there instead of leaving it here? You know for sure you left the cup on the table. They moved the cup and moved it on a different spot. You come back, and they're going to start shouting with you for moving the cup to a different place. They are the ones who did it. Maybe sometimes, let's say you catch them with a message in the phone. You guys, the ladies, you know, you catch this guy with a message, you know, those funny cheating messages. You have seen the message with your eyes, and the narcissist, what they do, what are they going to say? Oh, you're overthinking. Your brain is, you know, you didn't see it properly. You know, you are just creating this in your mind. It has nothing to do with me. They are going to fight with you. You have seen the message in the phone. The man is clearly cheating. Maybe even you picked up the call and there was a woman on the other side. Oh, don't you know that there's an auntie? There's one of those aunties of mine. You didn't meet her. They are going to make up a story. Now you're in your mind thinking, is it me or am I the one who is overthinking? Am I the one who is making the stories? It is them. You no longer understand what is reality. The narcissist, if the world does not address narcissism, we have started talking, okay, but it's not official, whereby people now, like, you're learning about these things everywhere, information out, it's like kind of, here and there, small pockets of information. But the moment the world will start learning about narcissism, everything will correct itself. The problem we are having now on this universe, the problem we are having, the world has been, for quite some time now, narcissism. When that problem is solved, narcissism, the world will correct itself. I can tell you this. When narcissism is solved and they can find what to do with narcissism, the world is going to correct itself. Families are broken. You can decide, you can imagine a family of 10 people. They are run by a narcissist. How are you going to really expect a healthy family when the family is run by a narcissist? How are you going to expect to run a healthy family? How are you going to be thinking? You may think because you know who you are empath, you have a real soul, you know what's going on. How are you going to expect that you are going to be in a family that is run by a narcissist and it's going to be a functional, healthy family? Church, same thing. Government, same thing. You're going to be dealing with dysfunction because it's gaslighting, manipulation, fear. They are pumping out the fear, they're pumping out gaslighting, abuse, and everything. You guys have been in many countries and you see these leaders, they abduct people, they torture people, and they do this. They don't care. They are not concerned about what should be done, what really should be done the right way. You find a church of 500 people, followers. The pastor is a narcissist. And you think that you're running a normal church. Did you guys even know that there are some people in church, they are trauma bonded with their pastors? People have got trauma bonds with those churches. And it's very difficult to break a trauma bond. Have you guys ever been with a woman who is a church goer? And you maybe are not much, pretty much a church person. You keep your distance, you watch things from a distance, you are not involved, you just let it be. And that woman, that the church goer, your wife or whatever, you will talk to her, you tell her that, listen, maybe you need to give that church a break. As I see your pastor this or your pastor that, you may say some things. That woman is going to fight with you. Do you know that woman can even divorce you because you told her to get away from church? The woman will divorce you. The woman will tell you to pack your things. How dare you tell me that the pastor is a bad person, this and this? The only thing they have seen for 3-4 years. The woman is in a trauma bond with their pastor. They have a trauma bond. They are bonded. They are trauma bonded in church. And no matter what you will do to show them the truth, they cannot see it. They don't know what you're talking about. Huh? You cannot talk about my church. Do you know how many members? Do you know how the energy? We rejoice, we do this, but the pastor is a narcissist. So they are feeding from the wrong plate. So when you're living in an inverted reality, The ones who see the truth, they can start to call you different names. Oh, that one is a devil worshipper. Oh, that one is demonic. This one is a conspiracy theorist. That one is this and that one is that. They will try to find some names because you're trying to show them something they cannot see. You know, they're blind, spiritually blind. There's people that are spiritually blind. They're spiritually blind, and many of them don't even know it. I remember in the early years when I was waking up, so I used to help somebody. There was somebody that I used to know. So because me, I understood what was narcissism. At the time, I didn't fully get the whole thing like 100%, but I knew what was narcissism. So I was helping this person. Oh, you know, this is a narcissist, do this. So sometimes they have a fight. You know, she comes to me, oh, you know, what do I do? This, okay, so this is a narcissist, so you need to do this, you need to do that. I was guiding this person. And then, in a few weeks, the same person they complained about, maybe, let's say, for example, they had like a discard. There was a discard going on, so they came, I was helping them. In 2 weeks, they was back together. They came the second time. I did the same thing. In 3 weeks, they was back together. So now I started to see the cycle. I said, now this is a discard over cycle. It was narcissism. They was dealing with the narcissist. Anytime when they would go back to this narcissist, I used to become the problem. You, the one that is trying to save the person, you become the problem, is what I'm trying to explain to you. You become the problem because that person, they're not yet ready to wake up. They don't see it yet. They haven't yet, it hasn't yet clicked in for them. So mentally, they're in a very deep space mentally, in a sunken place. And when a person is in a sunken place, they can only see the light, but from a distance. It's like when a person is in a deep pit. They can see that light, but it's from a distance. So they are kind of trying to crawl back a little bit. You know, they are dragging to crawl back to the light. So sometimes you are the light. You are the one telling them that, listen, it is safe out here. You can get out. Maybe even you're pulling them out. But they're in a very sunken place mentally. And whenever they crawl a little bit, you know, maybe they're on their way, they fall back to the pit. And then now they're going to tell you, what is the problem with you? Why are you trying to save me? Why are you trying to help me? Now you become the problem. So that is, I'm giving a scenario of what it looks like. When you're fully awakened and you're trying to help people, the people that are in a very deep sunken space, people that don't yet get it, people that are yet asleep, are still asleep. That's what happens. So this person used to say, I'm getting my nose very deep in their business. Oh, you know, it's my boyfriend. Why should you be bothered with my business, you know? It is up to me to figure out what I'm going to do with my boyfriend. So you are trying to put your nose and everything. I was the one helping them at the time. I said, okay, I'm going to keep my distance. I stepped back. In about 2 weeks, maybe, let's say 2 months. In about 2 months, I got the second call. Oh, this person has done like this. I say, okay, relax. This is what we are going to do. This. We started talking. So I was pulling them out. You see, you guys have to be you have got to be very understanding and careful at the same time. Get involved, but not too involved. Try to, you can get involved without being over-involved. So at the same time, you need to empathize with the people that are in a very sunken space, because they're in a very deep hole. They have been mentally broken down, so they cannot picture properly. They cannot put together what you're trying to say. Even if they can see the light, you will show them that this is what is happening. They cannot see it because they're blinded. Yesterday's video, I've told you there's a blinder, there's a veil over their face. So they don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't get it. They don't know they don't even know what you're talking about. And the more you try to help them, the more they try to defend their abusers. So they're in a very deep People call it, psychologists like to call it cognitive dissonance. A person is in a sunken space and mentally they cannot read your language. They don't know what you're saying. They don't hear you. They don't understand what you're saying. They can try to climb a little bit to, pick up the vibration, but then they always fall back because that's what the narcissist wanted you to be. Narcissists are agents of the matrix. So they drag you mentally in a very deep sunken space whereby you can actually fail to see reality. You can barely see that your government is messing with you. You can barely see that your church is the wrong place to be. You can barely see that your relationship is messed up. You cannot see it. People are in families run by narcissists. And because they're in that space, deep sunken space, when you tell them anything about narcissism, they're going to hate you for saving them. So what is wrong with you? Don't you see that we are okay? Even if they know that they're not okay. They are not okay, but they're going to show you that they're okay. Oh, everything is okay. Hey, it's my dad, it's my mom. They don't know what is happening. They're in a very deep sleep. And it is going to take a very long time. I've told you guys many times. Spiritual awakening is divine intervention. Spiritual awakening is divine intervention. There is times when sometimes even God will say, okay, this person, my daughter, my son, that's enough. Okay, you have seen enough and whatever it is you have to see, it is time for you to wake you up. And the divine will do anything necessary. The divine will bend every rule to make you awaken. Every rule necessary to make you awaken, and you will wake up. It's why most of the times you see people that are waking up, they're in shock. People that are awakening, they're in shock. They don't know what just happened. They cannot believe it. They're like, how could this thing have been going on for so many years and they couldn't see it? Because you see, the narcissists are very technical, or I could say tactical. They will give you some little bit of breadcrumb just to keep you going. You see? So when you're in church, they will tell you nice things. Oh, we are going to do this. We are going to build a new church. We are going to do this. Hey, Jesus is coming back and everything. They are going to give you some breadcrumbs so you will, they'll keep you hungry. So you want to keep on coming for more. You want to come for more. Oh, the pastor last time said, this and this, the sermon was good. Even there was dancing and everything. So they will give you the breadcrumbs. Your parent, same thing. So your parent will give you some breadcrumbs. Hey, come on this weekend, let us go family trip. They will take you somewhere. You eat something nice, and they come back home. The abuse keeps on going. So the breadcrumbs are intended to keep you going, but not enough to liberate you. Hey, many psychologists talk about breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing. So they breadcrumb you just to keep you in the mood. So, you're happy and, it is not enough to liberate you. It is not enough to fill your stomach, but it's enough to keep you going, to keep you begging and going for more. Whenever they sense that you're about to break free, they bring some breadcrumbs. Oh, did you guys know in a relationship, for example, and let's say you're a woman out there and you're planning to leave your husband. You've seen that they're narcissists, you want to leave them. Do you know what they do? They're going to switch off the abuse and they're going to love bomb you. Oh, sweetheart, I bought 2 tickets. We are going to Hawaii. Oh, I have these 2 tickets. We are going to Greece. So you guys get the picture. We're going to have this small trip. I bought some 2 tickets to the cinema. We're going to go to the cinema, you know. So the person who was planning to leave, now you're going to get excited. Oh, you know, we're going to the cinema with my husband. All of a sudden, now they are nice. So even they're taking me to a cinema. Maybe if they are too rich, they maybe even buy you some small car. Oh, you know, I bought you a very nice car, this and this. So that thing of leaving, whatever, you'll switch off that energy of leaving. It's okay. Now that they are nice, eventually they understand, they love me. Oh, you know, sorry, yeah, the thing is you're too sensitive. I just told you something small, you take it too personal. It's not personal, you know, I was just, you know, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was tired, whatever. Then they breadcrumb you, they love bomb you. And then what happens? As soon as they see that now your guards are down, they go back to the cycle. They repeat. It's a repeat. It's a cycle. That's why they call it cycle. Narcissist abuse cycle. It's a cycle. It just keeps on repeat. Repeat. Either same victim, different victim, but it's on repeat. Okay? So I woke up at 40, you know? I woke up at 40. So when I woke up at 40, I was able to understand how many narcissists have I been dealing with all these years. And the first thing that I used to recognize was the pattern. I say, oh, I recognize that pattern in my first ex, then the second one, this and this. I started to recognize those patterns. I was like, oh, I figured out that's what used to happen. That's what used to happen, and that's what used to happen. All of them, was the same. It was just a different vessel, but the same energy. So what did I do? I stopped dating. I closed the doors. No more ladies, whatever. I didn't care what you look like. I closed the door. I said, let me first of all work on myself. I need to know what this thing is. That is what helped me. I closed the door. There is one time I met a narcissist in those days. I remember before I shut the door at that time. So I met a narcissist one time. So now I'm sitting on the other side of the table and I'm looking at this narcissist and I'm seeing demon in real time, you know? Do you know when you understand narcissistic abuse? It is like you have like these, you know, they're like glasses. I could say, you have like these pairs of glasses you're wearing, and only you can see these demons. Only you can see. Nobody else can see. Nobody else around you can see it. You can see it clearly. Nobody can ever tell you otherwise. It's not possible. I was sleeping for 40 years, if you could say that. I was asleep for 40 years. So now I'm sitting on the other side. We're on a date. Remember that I've not yet decided if I want to stop dating at the time. But I'm still thinking about it. But I said, I can still give it a try. So there was this narcissist on the other side. So I'm there sitting where I'm watching, and I'm watching everything, how they are talking, the way they are moving, and I'm seeing a real demon in real time. So me now, I'm just waiting for the date to finish and I go home. Because I already made the decision what I'm going to do. I already knew that, this is just the next demon. I'm not going to deal with that energy. So I was waiting for the date to finish and I go home. As soon as I went home, the first thing I did, remove the number, block. That narcissist didn't see it coming. So you will see them. And you see what is the funny part? They cannot see you. So when you're awakened, you see them, but they cannot see you. You know? Because you're operating on a different timeline at the time. When you awaken, you jump on a different timeline. So on that timeline is higher than the lower one where you have been. So on that timeline, you are able to see this lower timeline and understand it, overstand it. But they cannot see you. You can read them, but they cannot read you. So that's what happens. In all situations when a person awakens, you will see demonic activity, but the demonic activity will not be able to read you. So this demon is there telling me the lies. You know how they do those things. They are saying all these lies and everything. Then they try to gaslight you a little bit. They try to, the love bomb and everything. And there's something what is very, very strange about this love bomb. The love bomb, you will know what a love bomb is. The way they try to, overshower you with this, the love is all of a sudden, is like this melting kind of energy. They want to melt your spirit and your heart, And you're watching. I'm there. I'm on the other side. I'm watching everything. I'm saying, okay, I'm watching. I'm listening attentively. You know that time you're attentive and you don't say anything. That's one of the things with an awakened person. You are going to see these demons making a fool of themselves, and you will be quiet. You will wait for them. You will wait. You will be watching them, and you're waiting. They are talking. You're the best man in the world. You're the best woman in town. You're this. Oh, I like the way you move. Look at your beauty. The hair. Look at this. You're watching them. And you're listening. You're watching. You don't judge. When I awaken, you don't judge. You're just there watching. You're okay, I'm listening. Let's go on. Let's go on. You're talking less. When you awaken, you talk less. You don't talk more. You're observing. You're quiet and you talk less. Andrea. Hello. So you're watching them. You're quiet. And then the red flags are going to start coming in. And you will be counting, That is one. That's the second one. That's the third one. You're watching. They don't know you're watching, but you're watching. This can happen in whole scenarios, living situations, everywhere. When you're awakened, you will know where narcissist is. Because they have a way of blowing their cover without knowing they are blowing their cover. It is something that is a cycle. They just keep on repeat. And because you recognize the cycle, so you can see them blowing their own cover, You can read the energy. When you have awakened, there is no narcissist in this universe that will ever be able to get in your energy. You see, in the recent years, back in the years, they used to operate behind the wall, so you couldn't see properly. You see this person, but they are standing behind the wall, so you cannot pretty much see what is happening the other side. You feel the energy coming, but you don't see it. When you awaken, the wall is removed, so the veil is lifted. That's what they mean, lifting of the veil. The veil is lifted, so it's like a glass. It's like this transparent glass whereby you can see all the the trickery that they're doing behind the scenes. You can see everything in real time. That's what happens. And you're waiting for them to sleep up. Because you see, let me tell you something about the awakened person. The awakened empath is very dangerous when it comes to narcissists. He's a very dangerous individual because the awakened empath, they can empathize. They are empaths. That's why they call them empaths. So they can still empathize with them. They can just sit down and observe and watch and everything and listen. But they know when they need to take some action. They know that, okay, it's been enough of the fuckery, the mess and everything. I'm taking my action. They wait for you to sleep up, They are very patient, but they're waiting for you to sleep up. They take notes, they observe everything, and they wait for the right time. Then you sleep up, and then they will show you how the game is played. So they will mirror the game back to you instantly. So it's why you see a lot of these narcissistic people, they hate, they fear the awakened empath. They fear that kind of empath. They can mess up if they don't know who you are. But when they know that you are awakened, they are going to give you distance. They don't want to be around you. They fear awakened empaths. Because an awakened empath, they are going to see the traps. They'll be watching you, a narcissist, sometimes they're going to start setting up the traps. So we'll do this and we'll do that. So you do this. And I saw this scenario, I've told you guys in my recent videos, of those groups of psychopaths and covens who was trying to set me up, setting some little traps. You are watching everything, you just, because you're very observant and you're very intuitive. You know who is in the trap, who is part of the game, who is going to do what and who is going to do what, and who is the buttons, the one pushing the buttons. So you know all the game. So you're waiting for the trap. You see the trap for what it is. So what you do, you step back. That is the thing with empaths, they are patient. So you stand back and you're going to wait for them to fall in their own trap. Because you know when they have set the trap and they cannot get out of that trap, that's when you pull out and they fall in their own trap. That's what happened. An awakened soul is one with the universe. That is a soul that is one with the universe. You have been awakened for a reason. You have work to do. And because you are one with the universe is going to reveal to you every small detail that is going on around you. Every small detail. There will be no doubt of how much you can see and understand. But the enemy doesn't know. Those narcissistic people, they don't know how far you can go. Then they try to test. Then they say, oh, we shouldn't have done that. So they realize that all this entire time they have been setting their own trap. An awakened soul is one with God, is one with the universe. The universe is speaking through them 24 hours a day. So I woke up at 40, like I've been telling you. I woke up at 40. Then I said, okay, now that I know what the game is, I flipped the entire board so I could rewrite the game. You see? Because you see, one of the things you realize, chosen ones and empaths, one of the things you realize, you cannot unsee what you will see. This is something you can fight with this. It is something I struggled with many years ago. I was thinking that I wish I didn't see this. Now that I see it, I understand what it is, what can I do? I was thinking I was really, really struggling at the time. Narcissistic parent. You can imagine when you had a parent, you had a lot of love for them, a lot of respect. Now you see them for who they are. Now you're going back to the drawing board and you're thinking, so what am I going to do with these parents now? Now that you know that they are narcissists, what else? What do you do? You cannot unsee this. You can't unsee it. You can't run away from it. You cannot unknow it. You see the demon for who they are. Because you see, one of the things is what they say, the universe gives you these glasses. But the thing is with awakened souls, the moment you wear these glasses, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take them off. I've lived with these glasses for a very long time, years now. I woke up in 2019. And I've been wearing these glasses since. So it is not even more, it doesn't matter anymore what kind of Jezebel, which rank of demons. It doesn't matter anymore which one is which narcissist. What do they? I do not want to know what they do. I just see them. To the extent whereby I can even see them without them talking. They don't have to talk and I've already seen them. That's how these glasses feel like. They don't have to talk and try to make all the stories. You've already seen it for what it is, even before they speak. Because a person that has awakened, a soul that is awake, these glasses are giving you a glimpse into the spiritual realm in real time. Are you guys following? So, Jovi, you're asking the wrong question, okay? You're asking the wrong question on the wrong platform. So, you wear glasses. You wear glasses and you are seeing the spiritual realm in real time. And you cannot take them off. You cannot take them off, and you cannot force anybody to wear them. It's why many times when you awaken, you tell people, oh, listen, this is happening, that is what is happening. Some people are struggling with you. What is he saying? Ah, this man must be crazy. What's going on with you? Why are you saying this? Oh, you think too much, you do this. Oh, people don't know what you're saying because you're wearing a different set of glasses. So it's why most of the time they tell you that it's not easy being awake. The ones who are awakened, they know. So it's not easy to be awakened and you're the only one who can see things, and sometimes people they think you're nuts, you're crazy, but they don't understand what you're saying. You know? Narcissistic abuse is one of the major causes of our spiritual awakenings that are happening now, especially with the empaths. It's a result of narcissistic abuse, the trauma. The more the trauma, the more chances are that you're going to wake up. That one is the false twin flame. So I had that one playing the role of a twin flame. So I had that one, it was somewhere before the lockdowns, the COVID and everything. So I had that one at the time. And that one came in as have you guys ever met somebody who mirrored you like almost 95%? They mirrored your energy, the words you say, the things you do, everything, behavior. You would almost see yourself looking at the other version of you in a different body. So, yes, that was a false twin flame. It was a false twin flame at the time. I thought it was a twin flame because at the time I was starting to see, that's one of the things with the universe. Sometimes the universe is going to be showing you different scenarios. Like in that time, I remember I started to watch a lot of these twin flame videos. Twin flame? Yes, I said, who is a twin flame? Who is it? I was trying to understand. Then the spiritual narcissist came in. So I was thinking that maybe this is my twin flame. The universe has been showing me who is the twin flame. But later on, I found out that this was a karmic. It was a false twin flame, So you have to take your time. You see, when it comes to dating, you really have to take your time. Don't rush dating. These things of dating, don't rush. People have been dating because they didn't take time. They went into those relationships and they have regretted why they even stepped into those things. So you have to take time and understand someone. Okay? I'm not saying you cannot go on a date, have a meal, whatever, but when it comes to establishing the relationship, take your time. Don't be in a rush, you know. Somebody says it's a honey trap. It can also be a honey trap. They come in as a twin flame and it's just a honey trap to keep you in lower vibrations. I've had a lot of those honey traps over those years. I've had a lot of honey trap setups. They send him this honey trap. I send that one parking. They send the next one. I send another one. So they used to come in every now and then. But even if it's not in that twin flame, they are going to send a lot of honey traps for each other ones. The honey traps are one of the most common things the matrix will send your way. Those false, bogus relationships, So one of the things you realize when you are awakened, you no longer see people on face value. For you, it doesn't matter anymore which woman has the best body, which one has the man with the best nice muscles. It doesn't matter anymore. You just read frequency. It is either the person is on the right frequency or the wrong frequency. That's all you need. You're not bothered about, yes, okay, some of you may be okay to, have this person who is presentable, good looking, whatever. You may have that choice, but it doesn't pretty much make a lot of sense for you anymore. The same way it used to do back in the days when you wasn't awake. So you have like a different understanding of human beings. You read energy. You can see somebody who is coming in, they're desperate, this and that. A lot of women, you meet these guys, they're very desperate. You can see them almost, they're like, they want to take you to bed that same night, You read frequency. And when the frequency is right, you go for it, The frequency has got to be right. The energy has to be right. So for you, it doesn't matter anymore. These things of face value, those days when you used to dating people because they are so handsome. Oh, look at this handsome, beautiful man, beautiful woman, doesn't make any more sense. It's a good thing to look at. It's nice, everybody, you're a man, you like this woman with that nice body. It's a normal thing, but when it comes to like serious relationships, for you, it's not what counts. As long as the soul is right, you're good to go. Okay? So those honey traps, normally they will send for you those kind of people like that, those nice bodies, and you see the woman and you think this one we can go, but it's a honey trap. They are very low vibrational. If you cannot read energy, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to end up dating very low vibrational women and men just because you didn't read their energy. A lot of those nurses, you see, they look nice. They know how to dress these, put these nice, you see a guy with the nice suits and what, We're together, guys. So you have, but again, it's very important to understand, not everybody is a narcissist, ladies and gentlemen. Not everybody is a narcissist. So the awareness helps you understand who is, who isn't, the red flags, you see what you need to do, discernment. But not everybody is a narcissist. So sometimes you have to use your own discernment, okay? It's why we teach you these things so that when you're out there, for you to protect yourself, you have to have the information. You have to have the knowledge, the awareness, okay? We're together, guys. So when you awaken, especially when you started thus, when you start getting into that twin flame energy, that kind of stuff, it also happens that you're going to see a lot of those numbers. Many people talk about those serial numbers. What do they call them? The angel numbers, the repeating numbers. You know, like we see our member here about, so 444s is a very common thing you will see. The 4s, 5s, 6s, the 7s, 11s. So the narcissists are not here to evolve, okay? The narcissists are not here to evolve. They're not here to evolve. They will not evolve in this lifetime. If a person has been a narcissist and you can register this as a narcissist, they're not going to evolve. They're not here to evolve. So when you're dealing with one, you can always do yourself a favor and you walk your way, you go your way, and you let them do their own thing. I don't know what they're here to do. They're here to destroy other people, you know, cause a lot of pain, trauma, and everything. They are vessels. They are vessels of pain. A narcissist is a vessel of pain. You are a vessel of love and peace. A narcissist is a vessel of pain. Anything they can do to cause a lot of pain and destruction is what they do. That's their food. Okay. Hey, because how is it possible that every narcissist they are reading the same book? It's like they went to the same school. The one from Japan, he do the same things. The one from Germany, do the same thing. The one from the US. They're reading the same book. It's why I've told you this thing is like demonic. It's demonic, you know. It's a spirit. It's the same code. Because there would be a little bit of, because you know, people who have mental problems, whatever, different types of problems, they have different characters. They can do, even if they have the same label, they may be different in what they do. It may not be the same things, but this particular one, they do the same things all around the world, you know? Yeah. So when he was in school learning about dissecting the beans, yeah, when he was in those labs checking the rats, the mice, nobody was talking about narcissism. They was telling you all these other things. You didn't learn anything about narcissism. Until the world starts to understand what is narcissistic abuse, the world will correct itself. The moment it becomes official for people to understand what is narcissistic abuse and how to protect themselves, everything is going to correct itself in this universe. You don't have to do anything else. The thing, it will just be natural. Everything will correct itself, you know? Every pocket of society is going to correct itself as long as the world understands what is narcissistic abuse. Spiritual warfare. So many years ago, there used to be, so in the Bibles, you guys, you know, the people of the ancient, so they used to deal with demonic possessions and demonic and everything. Demons is what you used to hear many years ago. This one was demonic possessed. This one that you guys have heard about it in the Bible even. But as the time went on, the language started changing slowly, slowly. Maybe there was another time that people had a different name for it. So it kept on changing until this moment now. That kind of behavior is what people would understand as narcissism, you know. So Adu, go to my videos and check in the first comment. There's my PayPal there. Adu is from UAE. He wants to support our channel. You go to my YouTube page, click the video from yesterday, go to the comment section. The first comment is from me, and there's my PayPal is in there. You will see it. You cannot miss it. So as the world evolved, and now we are starting to see something that they used to call, the ancients used to call demonic possession. We are now seeing it play out in narcissist people. Okay? Something that people used to call in the ancients, because if you start to see all those things that even you used to read in the Bible, you know, the manipulations and all those stuff, the gaslighting, seduction, and all those things. So those was the demonic possession at the time. But now you're starting to see all those same codes operating within narcissistic people. So that's how you know that this was what they used to call demonic possession many years ago. Okay? Is why you hear now people, they are starting to break free, because they are starting to see what it is. They see it for what it is. And that is what is breaking people free. The moment you understand what it is, what is beyond the person, okay, you understand what they did, how they do, what they do, how they move. You have already read about all that, but what is behind? There's a spirit behind what they do. Because life is spiritual. Very, very important. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is not hard to figure out that eventually there is good spirits and bad spirits. There's bad energy, there's good energy, okay? The same way how you see empaths, they operate with the same code. Love, empathy, authenticity, truth, and justice is the same code what narcissists use. It is the same code. So empaths, they all operate through the same code around the world. The same thing with narcissists, they also operate through the same code. It's a code. So to break the code of narcissism, you have to first of all understand the truth of what it is. That is how you break the code, okay? So many of them, they feed on your empathy. Empathy, and empathy is like food. You're like food, your meal is what they call you supply. The words you hear are talking about people, many coaches, supply, they say supply, but it is food, that is food. Supply on the spiritual energy, on the spiritual level, it is what you would call energy, okay? Supply, what they call, therapists used to call supply, is what you actually call on the spiritual level is energy. It is the fuel, it is the energy. So it is food. The narcissist is the vessel. The narcissist is just the vessel. The spirit operating within the narcissist, they're the drivers. They will use that narcissist to move around to look for food. So they run into an empath who has got an abundance of food. It's like when you go around and looking for food, you say, okay, I see that store, there's a lot of food. You branch over there to get as much as you can. They meet the empath who has the abundance of food because they lack the ability to love. They don't have truth. They don't have empathy. Okay? And they're not just people. So what they do, they look for the vessel who embodies all of that. Are we together, guys? They look for the vessel that embodies all of that. Now they meet the empath. Thank you, Aham. They meet the vessel that embodies all of that frequency. Truth, empathy, authenticity, love. When they meet the empath, they're very excited. So what they do, me, I'm trying to interpret to you. These are all things you hear about people talking about psychology. I'm interpreting to you from a spiritual lens, okay? When they meet that vessel that embodies that energy, they get very excited, so they love bomb you and everything. They try to trick you and everything, so you fall for the game, you fall for the trap. When you fall for the trap, and they know that, okay, so now they have secured you as a vessel. This is going to be, so this is like, they secure their, what do they call it? You know when the lions go to hunt, so they catch these deers, they go and hide that deer in a tree. Now they're going to start feeding. You know, they will be feeding today. When they are full, they take a break. And then they're going to come back in the evening, they feed. Then the next day, maybe they might even, if necessary, if need be, they could call some friends to eat with them, but usually they eat alone. So they put you somewhere in a space where they can now start to feed. So they start to feed. And they're going to feed and feed and feed and feed until there's no more food left to eat. So the prey is now bones. It's like you've turned into bones. There's nothing else to feed. What do? They throw away the carcass and they go find fresh prey. That is what narcissists do. So the empath, you are food, is what I'm trying to say. You are food for these energy vampires. But they are feeding energetically. They don't feed like you know you have food on the plate. They feed energetically. Okay, these spirits, they feed energetically. They feed on your energy, is what I'm trying to say. So you have the abundance of energy. They find you as prey so they can feed on your energy. That is the reason why when you're with a narcissistic individual, you will feel drained. You don't understand what is sapping your energy. Every single day you wake up, you're tired. Sometimes you have arguments out of nowhere. You don't know what they pass. You don't even know what is happening to you because they are feeding. You are feeding these demons. So they can feed for as long as necessary until the vessels run out of supply. Now they're okay, this vessel, there's nothing else to feed. They dump you off and they're going to move on to the next victim. And by the time they have dumped you off, you look like a zombie. They have sapped every drop of energy, last drop of energy they could get out of you. They now move on to go find a fresh supply. I've shared a video before. There's a video I did, and I've told you guys. That video, I shared with you pictures, how I used to look like when I was with a narcissist, what I looked like. So we had a glitch, a system glitch, but we are back. Give me a 1 if you can hear me and if you can see me. Drop a 1. Okay, so we had a glitch, but it's back now. Okay, that's good. The screen glitched a little bit. I don't know why. So they feed on you. When you find a victim of abuse and you look at them, they have almost been left for dead. They need a very long process to heal, to recover, a lot of therapies, a lot of healing, because they have been feeding somebody, they have been feeding an empty vessel, they have been feeding an energy vampire. So you guys see, you are food for these people, you are food for these individuals. They use you to feed. They feed off of your light, they feed off of your empathy, they feed off of your essence. Okay? So this video, I teach you to protect yourself. I don't tell you to fear. Don't fear these individuals. Don't fear. You see, one of the things what you understand, the moment you wake up, you understand that these people, they are very weak. They are very weak spiritually, because a person who is at that vibration, they are very weak spiritually. They are actually dead spiritually. Okay? But they have to hide this on the surface. They have to hide this so they can show you a different version of themselves, that beneath that surface, they are a very weak, terrified little kid with a lot of insecurity, but they have to use different ways to boost their ego so that you will see them as this person that they are not. Okay? So they want to make you believe that, oh, I'm very powerful. When I say this, you have to do this, you have to listen, you have to do that. They are very weak. They are very weak. The very moment you start taking back your power is when you will understand how weak a narcissist has always been from the beginning. They are very weak. So don't be afraid of them. But I know it's very difficult because when you have been in those relationships and you're terrified and something, it's hard, but they are very weak. They are very weak and insecure, But they hide it because they don't want anybody to know. So they hide it beneath the surface. So they'll go to the gym, pump all these muscles and everything, and what? Sometimes they try to hide it, but behind the scenes, they are very weak. They are spiritually dead. Okay? A narcissist is spiritually dead. I've done a whole video on that. They're not connected to source. They're in a very sunken space. Very, very sunken space. And when you're with them, so what they do, they try to drag you so that you can sync with them. Is why a lot of times a lot of people who have been in narcissistic abuse, they find themselves going from top to bottom because you're with a person who is in a very sunken space, a sunken place. Okay? They don't know how to climb back to the light. So when they see you as the light, they try to hold on to your energy so that they can try to at least, try to kind of like pull themselves back up to the light, because they cannot do that on their own. So they need somebody who can help them to, maybe they try to climb back and even at least get a little bit of light. Is why when you're with them, you will see the way they will start to glow. They are sapping your energy. A lot of them even destiny swap with you. You met this narcissist who was maybe 50, 60. You've been with them just for 3 months and you see them, they're looking like a small kid. They are destiny swapping with you. Okay? They're sapping your energy. So you are pumping back life into them because they are dead spirits. That person will start to glow. They will start to see all these things happening. They are, all of a sudden, all the girls, they want to date them because, They are full of energy. You know what I mean? You have pumped them up with a lot of energy. Now they're moving around. Everybody else wants to be with them. All the girls are starting. You know, all of you guys have got narcissistic friends and they just spend some little bit of time with you. And all of a sudden, everybody, all the girls want them in town. All the girls in town want to date them. It was your energy. They're looking nice. All of a sudden, now they can take care of themselves. So energetically, they are trying to crawl back to get some light, but they need somebody who already has that light. Okay? So you are the empath. You are the one that already is walking in that light. Because for you, it's a natural way. It's a natural thing. You don't even have to force it. You are already connected to source because you embody some of the most powerful frequencies: love, truth, authenticity, justice, and empathy. You are naturally connected to source, to the creator. They are not. So they cling onto you and start pulling back so that you can show them you are the one that is guiding them, but they don't want you to know. When you're with the narcissist, you are the one that is showing them the light, guiding them to the light, but they don't want you to know. So they hide this from you, but secretly they desire your abilities. They want to be like you. So is where now you start to hear those things of destiny swap and everything, because they're already dead. These people, they are dead spirits. Okay? Is why people call them energy vampires. For them to be alive, they have to feed. So you don't have to be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of them. They are very weak. Spiritually, they are very weak. Now that you are awakened, you see them. Is why sometimes they avoid, most of the time they avoid awakened people. They run away from awakened people because they know this person is awakened. They are too aware of everything. So you can see through them, you know what they are doing, you can read them, you know the game. So they run away from you because they don't know how to handle a person that can see through them. They cannot do that. So they run away from you, you know. They like somebody who is not asleep, somebody who is still asleep. They don't want dating awakened empaths. When you're an awakened empath, you're a nightmare for the narcissist. You're like a nightmare because they cannot play their game. This one, they already know who they are and what you cannot play their game. They run away from you. They don't want anything to do with you. So, I've always told you in my videos, ladies and gentlemen, be compassionate. Be compassionate. You see, one of the things what you will understand when you're waking up, when you're awakened, you have got very high levels of empathy, you know. So you can still see them and empathize. You will empathize with them. You will know where they're coming from energetically. You know what they want. So you cannot give away freely the same way you used to give because you was asleep. But this time you are very big. You're conscious with your energy. You are more aware of everything. So you give away consciously. You no longer allow situations that are going to drain you. So you give away consciously. You can understand, okay, this person, because you still see them, even after awakening, you still see them everywhere. But you understand that this person is a narcissist. So you know their playbook. And you know which ways you can protect yourself and which ways to protect your energy, because you don't allow them to drain you, okay? You keep on seeing them, you keep on running into them, they're everywhere, but you are more aware and conscious, so you no longer give them that energy that you used to give back in the days. But still you empathize with them, okay, because you understand energetically where they are coming from. So you still have that moment where you kind of like empathize, okay? You don't like kind of go heavy on them. You still empathize with them because you understand they are spiritually broken, okay? So it's what I've been telling you many times in my videos. Don't these, revenge and what. Don't do those things. In most of my videos, I teach you forgiveness, I teach you empathy, I teach you understanding, but not to that level whereby you're going to be stupid and you're going to be caught unaware. You empathize with them because you understand the energy, but not too stupid enough to grant them full access. You see, that's how it works. Okay? So if it's your mother, forgive them. Your father, whatever, forgive them. Live, forgive, and you can love them from a distance. You can stay at your safe distance, and you can love them from a distance, but you forgive them, Don't wish harm on them, like Michelle is saying. Don't wish any harm on them. Continue praying for them because you understand where they're coming from spiritually. So continue praying for them. I don't know what will happen for them, but always try to be empathic. Empathize with them. That's who you are. You are the empath. So don't try to be like them. Okay, you have to step out of that energy. Right? Father, release them. Forgive. Narcissistic co-workers, we can do another video next live. About the narcissistic co-workers, we can do another video next time. So it is a lesson that empaths learn. When you go through abuse, you learn so many things. You learn a lot of things. You learn about love, self-love. You learn about boundaries. You learn the differences in people. You no longer see the people the same. You learn how to heal. You learn the reason why people do certain things and what is the influence behind that. You learn so many things. This is like a lesson. It's a very big lesson for the empaths. There is things that you learn that you could have never learned anywhere else if you did not go through that experience. So there's a lot of things that you learn about narcissistic people. But also you learn how to actually understand. Okay? Forgiveness allows you to move forward. Yes, forgiveness allows you, even in the Bible, many of you guys, the churchgoers, Bible scholars, always God told you forgive. Is something that is very hard, but you always have to forgive these people. What else can you do? So you can have a very deep hatred when you just left them. You can have that feeling of, why did they do this? Why did somebody do that? How could they and what? But as the more you heal, you see that it was all like, and it really, really takes a very long time for you to come to this acceptance that it's okay to release and heal and forgive them. It's not easy. It's not something that is easy. But it's possible, So you understand the people, you can read energy, you know why people do things, what has always been the influence, and you learn how to protect yourself, Oh, we have green screens. Guys, you see I'm learning things now, Next time I'll put a green screen. I didn't know about the green screens. That's actually very interesting. Next time we're going to do a green screen, guys. That's quite interesting. So, narcissistic abuse is not personal. It is not personal. It was personal when you didn't know. Exactly, love is the key. But you can love from a distance, not that love that used to, you love them and they are still moving in and around your house. They are good because these are vampires, energy vampires. So they continue to feed as long as you grant access. They continue to feed. But when you can remove yourself, okay, is your dad, you can love him from a distance. Mom, you can love her from a distance. So you're no longer in that space where you're going to continue engaging with these people because they're your parents and you know that they're toxic. You get away and you love from a distance. But forgiveness is key. That is who you are. You know when to forgive, when to leave, when to say no, boundaries. So many of you empaths, especially on this channel, what I know, and I can surely understand, you have awakened after going through narcissistic abuse. There is something that the narcissist triggered inside of you. Because when your soul recognizes that you're battling spiritual warfare, your soul will start to, when your soul recognizes that you've been battling warfare, your soul finds a way to wake up, okay? Because awakening is like you're fighting back. So the two energies are fighting, and the only way to win this is by, first of all, you need to wake up. So something happens and you are triggered to wake up. Awakening can also happen in very many different settings, depending on your journey. There's people that I've heard about, they awakened after going through near-death experiences. People have awakened after going through very difficult, very terrible illnesses. Sometimes maybe there was a car accident. But awakening is triggered by something. There is something traumatic that happens. And it triggers your soul to wake up. It's what I've told you many times in my videos. The narcissist is responsible for your awakening. Okay? They are responsible for your awakening. It is not pretty. It is not something you wanted to go through. But it's something that was also vital for your spiritual awakening to happen. Because the divine planned everything in advance. That was the way that your soul could wake up. So the experience that you went through, it didn't happen in vain. Your soul needed that route to experience your awakening. But there can also be sometimes awakening can happen when you go through a loss. Let me say, for example, you lose somebody that you loved very dearly. It could have been a family member. You know, maybe there was your favorite grandmother, grandfather. It was somebody that was very, very deeply close to you, and that person passed away. So that can also happen and you can awaken. Your soul can be triggered to awaken. Everybody has got a different method, something that will trigger them to wake up. We all don't wake up through narcissistic abuse. I know somebody who awakened. There's a very good coach on YouTube. Awakened after going through a loss. It was his grandmother that passed away. And something triggered this person to wake up. Because I remember that story. Because all the people that experience spiritual awakening, what happens, they narrate their awakening. They usually tell their story of how they awakened. So when I remember this man's story, he said that he lost his grandmother. And when he went to the funeral, you know, when there are those funerals and everything, so they are watching the body. So he was looking at his body. His awakening happened when he was watching. His grandmother's body when it was laid in the funeral home in the coffin. something just awakened in him, and he realized that actually people don't die. People, we're just souls, and we just continue living on. We just probably exit this physical vessel and we just continue to live on. So his awakening happened around that, or along those lines. That was his awakening. So there are some awakenings, sometimes they can be spontaneous, slowly, easy, kind of, but the majority of awakenings have happened actually after undergoing very traumatic experiences. Something happened traumatic, and that is what triggered the awakening to happen. Okay? So it was your trigger. The narcissist was your trigger to awaken. That is why you know all the things you know. That is why you are healing at a very, fast rate. Is why the veil is lifting, because that was supposed to be your destiny. That was supposed to be your path. Okay? Your evolution was meant to go through that process so you could awaken. Is why most of the times you end up revisiting those memories and you're like, you forgive these people, because you understand the universe aligned them in your path because they were supposed to be participants of your evolution. As the empath, they are also a part and parcel of your evolution. If I didn't know what narcissistic abuse was, I would probably be teaching you here. I would be here teaching you how to cook, because I used to be a cook. You guys have told you many times. So I used to be a chef. So I used to enjoy cooking and making different meals. So I would be here teaching you how to cook. But now I'm here teaching you the things that you need to know, okay? Everybody can cook. Everybody knows what's happening in the kitchen, but not everybody understands spiritual warfare or narcissistic abuse. So that was my path. Okay? So it was your ticket, that the narcissist was your ticket to evolution, is what I'm trying to say. When you heal and you look back at it, you become very grateful to the universe, to God, to the ancestors, to the Most High, for having gone through that experience, so that it could teach you a lot of things. You learn a lot of things from those experiences. And again, I've told you the narcissists don't evolve. They can change some, they can change some tactics, they can learn a new tactic, a new skill, but they don't evolve. They're not able to evolve. They're not possible. A narcissist cannot evolve, okay? They will never evolve. So a lot of you empaths are now starting to learn narcissists in church, in school, in hospitals, in politics, in work, in relationships, in friendships. You're starting to learn that this whole thing is wide, okay? It has been happening, it continues to happen, but we fight back, okay? All empaths operate on the same code. When you're empath, we speak the same language. The same thing, what's happening with narcissists, they also speak the same language, okay? They operate through the same code. But the empaths are the ones that are able to break that code. Are you guys following? It's the empaths, the real ones, that are able to crack that code and break it open. And when you break that code of narcissism, that means you pierce the veil. Let me see. Guys, let me pin this comment and help me answer our friend. I don't know exactly what they are trying to say. Or maybe it's this one of the gang stalking. So that one is talking about gang stalking. Yeah, so yeah, it's a program. Gang stalking is a program. It's a matrix program. When you're chosen, you're gang stalked. And especially when you're waking up, you want to be gang stalked. You start to see these NPCs stalking you, reading your emails and what, stalking your whatever neighborhoods. It's not something you need to fear. You guys need to understand this program. It's all fear. When you can step out of that frequency, you're free. You know, the agents in the matrix, you know, they move you around to keep you paranoid and afraid. It's exactly what the narcissist was doing. So many of them, they are narcissists actually. A lot of those gang stalkers, they are narcissists. But they are playing a different game on the background. They don't directly play, they play it on the other side to kind of like keep you in the loop. Because this fear is a loop. They need to keep you in that fear loop. So you keep on looping in fear so that you can stay low vibrational. And you have got to work your way out of that fear loop as well, okay? So the more attention you pay to those gang stalkers is the more they manifest. You need how to play this game, ladies and gentlemen. When you pay attention to a lot of these individuals, they continue to manifest. I've done a whole video on that. If you go to my videos, you will see what I talked about gang stalkers. So don't pay them a lot of attention. They need your reaction, so you don't have to react. Okay? It's a simulation. You have to know how it works, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be ahead of the game. What else here? Right. So, 2 hours online. Guys, I think that's it for today. We have had a very nice chat. I don't announce my, what do they call them? I don't announce my videos. I don't announce my lives. My live 777. Thank you for that donation. That's a proper alignment, 777, $999. I don't announce, I just do random, thank you for that donation. That was from, like you're cooking, I'm an artist. Somewhere along my way, I felt myself shift into writing. And instead of painting so much, I was finding the way to express what I need to do. So you have to, you see, you might have different passions in different things. So like, for example, you say you're an artist and then somewhere along the journey, you realize you want to be writing. So you can always throw your hand in different directions and one of them is going to do it for you. One of them, you may develop, you may notice that you have got different gifts in so many things. And you may have to focus on the one that really, really fills you, makes you feel at peace, the one that really, really resonates with your soul. I used to be an artist also many years ago. Then eventually I started the cooking stuff and eventually life coach. So you can always throw your hands in different directions. You have to follow your intuition and you see which one of them really feeds your soul, nourishes your soul. And that's why you need to focus, okay? Are we together, Mr. Jack? That was from Jack, okay? Claire Wu, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're very welcome. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Guys, you're welcome to Super Chat Denzemos if you like our stuff. And there is a possibility to invite people on this platform. This is something I've learned today. So there's a possibility, but you have to. So what we can do, if you want to share with me, if you want to share with us, you have to send me an email in advance, then I will send you a link. So there's a link that I'm supposed to share with you, but you have, first of all, have to email me if you want to come on this platform to share, and I will send you the link. So I will tell you the time we are going live, and then you can just click on the link and you can actually come here and share if there is something you want to share with us, okay? It is something I just learned earlier on. So the email, new day, good morning, grand rising. My email is in all my videos. If you look in the description, in the first comment, pinned comment, you will see my emails. So it's possible to come and share if you want to talk with us. I can always invite you. I just learned, I didn't know about that. I just learned that today. Exactly, insight. The channel is to lead you out of darkness, okay? The channel, the main objective of this channel is to get you out of the dark so you can crawl back to the light, okay? So before you summon spirits of death, Mr. Whatever, I cannot read that name in Korean, you need to know what you're summoning, my friend. You have got to be careful what you're summoning, because there is some things you will do and you're not prepared how to handle that energy. So you need to become aware first of what you're dealing with. You don't fight this battle by summoning spirits, okay? You don't just summon things like that. This is something you might not be able to deal with. So get more information on gang stalking. First of all, educate yourself on what it is you need dealing with before you know what you're summoning. Because you summon those spirits, as much as you summon them, you need to know what you will do when they arrive, okay? So know how to play this game. You need to understand this whole thing. So gang stalking is demonic. Yes, that is true. Gang stalking is demonic. There is people that pay a lot of guys very big money just to stalk somebody, because they are spiritually awakened. Go see what they are doing, this and that. It's demonic. It's demonic. Gang stalking is demonic. But again, no need to fear. You just need to learn how to deal with these things. The whole thing is fear. It's a fear-based matrix. So when you continue to feed the fear, you continue to feed the system. All right, guys, thank you for the love and support. It's been a pleasure. We cannot go beyond 2 hours. So I'll catch you guys in my next live. Thank you for the comments. I've seen the likes. I've seen the super chats. I've seen the support. If you wish to book a session, there will be a comment. There will be a pinned comment in the section below. If you will be wanting to donate, there will be my PayPal in the comments below. If you can share these videos with your friends. And I wish you guys a nice one. Love and blessings. Peace.